Tomorrow is the birthday of another American wartime president, the 182nd birthday of Abraham Lincoln. Scientists are now studying samples of Lincoln's remains. Bruce Morton tells us they want to see if Lincoln achieved greatness even while coping with a crippling disease.
People saved things after Lincoln's death: a lock of his hair, bloodstains from a doctor's cuff on display at the National Museum of Health and Medicine here. Now, a suggestion: use these specimens to take a tiny sample of Lincoln's DNA, his gene pattern, clone it, and learn new things about him. Did he suffer from a disease called Marfan Syndrome?
Marfan Syndrome is a hereditary disorder in which the individuals are unusually tall and gangly, as Lincoln was.
Sufferers are gaunt, long hands and fingers, often died of heart ailments. Under 19th century care, 3/4 of Marfan sufferers would have died by age 56, Lincoln's age when John Wilkes Booth shot him at Ford's Theater here. Lincoln's DNA probably can be recovered, experts say.
Scientists have been able to recover DNA from prehistoric animals that have been frozen in Siberia and obtained from mummies that are many thousands of years old that have been preserved.
But should Lincoln's DNA be recovered? Should great leaders be reduced to gene patterns and chemical analysis?
This does a lot to increase the self-esteem of the people who have the Marfan syndrome and have any genetic disease.
Scientific analysis of Napoleon's hair showed that he was poisoned. Still, historians like James McPherson, author of a new book on Lincoln, doubt that DNA can tell us much about him.
I don't anticipate that this is going to yield things of historical importance, but it nevertheless might be interesting. What I would object to, I think, is going around robbing graves in order to do this with other historical figures.
A committee of scientists will examine the ethics of this kind of research. Meanwhile, if you were wondering, could they clone the whole man, create a new Mr. Lincoln? The answer is no.
There's no thought that in some science fiction scenario that one could create another Mr. Lincoln, and Dr. McCusick, our expert geneticist, felt that perhaps that was unfortunate.
Perhaps. Bruce Morton, CBS News, Washington.